Hello, I'm Jacob from Intrepid Protoworks, and today we're going to cover how to do the F distribution. We're going to need to do a couple of imports. We're going to import math, and in math we're going to import gamma. We're going to import decimal. Decimal lets us do extra big numbers, which will give us the headroom to do the calculation for the F distribution. And we're going to set the decimal size to 100. This will let us get a number to the precision of 100 significant figures. We're going to go ahead and define F probability distribution function. That will take an F value, add degrees of freedom 1 and degrees of freedom 2. You'll notice up in the top right, I've circled what we're doing right now. So the top part of the numerator, we'll do a decimal of our degrees of freedom 1 times our F value, which is denoted as X in the formula above. We will then take that to the power of our degrees of freedom 1 and then multiply that by our degrees of freedom 2 taken to the power of our degrees of freedom 2. We have to have all of these be decimal or else they will not play nice. You cannot multiply a decimal by a float using the decimal module. Now we are taking the bottom part of our numerator. We have moved our red circle up there to denote what we're working on. We are doing our degrees of freedom 1 times our F value plus our degrees of freedom 2. And then we'll take that to the power of our degrees of freedom 1 plus our degrees of freedom 2. Right here is the main reason why we need to use the decimal function, because these values for our degrees of freedom 1 plus our degrees of freedom 2 can result in something being taken to the power a very large power, and that will result in a very large number, usually more or sometimes more than what a float can handle. And now we take both of those to create our numerator, which will just be the decimal value of our top divided by the decimal value of our bottom, and take that whole bit and do the square root of it. And we can do that by taking it to the power of 1/2. Now that will give us the value for our numerator. So now we can go ahead and go down to our denominator. And to get that, we will do an A and a B. We'll do our degrees of freedom 1 divided by 2 for A, and our degrees of freedom 2 divided by 2 for B. And then we need to define our beta function. So this can be derived from the gamma function. We can do this by multiplying the gamma of A times the gamma of B, divided by the gamma of A plus B, and that'll give us our beta. So with all that in place, we can do our denominator and just multiply F times beta, and that gives us all the pieces for our F distribution function. So the probability distribution function for F is we're going to convert these to floats. It'll be the numerator divided by the denominator. And then we can just go ahead and return our probability distribution value for a given F at a given degrees of freedom 1 and given degrees of freedom 2. Now this time, rather than doing a table, because a exhaustive F distribution table would be massive, and I actually tried calculating it, and it took, I spent hours trying to actually calculate an F distribution table, and it just was unreasonable to do. So we're going to just do a function that gets a p-value from F. It'll take a given F value. It'll take a given degrees of freedom 1 and a given degrees of freedom 2. We'll start off by importing integrate. We'll import quad from scipy.integrate. And then this will be similar to the Z and T distributions. We'll take our probability and error. We have to take error as that's something that scipy quad function wants to do, and then we'll just do probability distribution function 0 to F, because the F distribution function starts at 0, and it'll take additional arguments of degrees of freedom 1 and degrees of freedom 2. So with that in place, that is the core of what we need to be able to do to get a probability from a given F value, degrees of freedom 1, degrees of freedom 2. So let's do some examples. We'll do a list of degrees of freedom 1, a list of degrees of freedom 2, and then we'll go ahead and make a list of F values. So let's say that while X is less than 30, if I is less than 3, because we want to look at the first few in particular detail, we'll do plus 0, 1, and then we'll append that value to X. And then if X is greater than 3 and less than 10, we'll just go ahead and increment in 5. And then we will do, if x is greater than 10 and less than 30, we will also increment in 5. We might go back and change that if we want to look at that in a little bit more detail. And let's go ahead and set something up to plot this. So go ahead and import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. And then we will go ahead and go for degrees of, for our each degrees of freedom 1 in our degrees of freedom 1s. We will then do for each degrees of freedom 2 in our degrees of freedom 2s. We'll then go ahead and define an empty list y. And then we will go ahead and print our degrees of freedom 1 and our degrees of freedom 2 so we can see our progress. And then we'll loop through each of our x values. And then we'll define our probability as equal to our probability distribution function. Take f, degrees of freedom 1 and degrees of freedom 2. And then we will append p to our empty y list, and we'll round that to 3 decimal places. And then we will plot x and y. And we will do that for each degrees of freedom 1 and each degrees of freedom 2. With all of that in place, we are ready to save and run, and we will go through all of our degrees of freedom combinations, and then a plot will show up. There we go. Oh, we forgot to show our plot at the end, so let's go ahead and do that one more time. And you can see going through so many different degrees of freedom combination can take a lot of time. So let's go ahead and expand this out a little bit so we can see what we're looking at. We can see as both degrees of freedom get higher, it looks kind of like a normal distribution, just off-centered a little bit. So let's go ahead and look at some individual values for degrees of freedom. So we'll just take that p value, and then we will do 10 and 10 and for our degrees of freedom, and then we will go ahead and append the y value for each f value, and then we will go ahead and plot an x and a y. And let's go ahead and comment out the loop. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like at degrees of freedom 10 for each. Go ahead and zoom in again. And we can see here that it is skewed much closer to 0, and we have this long tail that goes out. This is pretty typical of what you can expect to see from the F distribution. And as the degrees of freedom approaches infinity, it'll look pretty similar to a normal distribution where 1 is the mean. So we can go and zoom in on this and take a look. You can see that it looks a little bit more like the mean is centered around 1. And it looks like we have a standard deviation of around 0.5. Let's go and up this to 120 for each. And you can see in every situation we end up with this tail at coming out the end. Alright, that does it for our video on the F distribution. This will be a little bit different going forward, as we're going to basically calculate our p-value from taking the integral of our probability distribution function rather than using a table. This will give us some better precision. This is something you can also do with the t and z tests if you wanted. In our next video, we will start going over the different versions of the F-test. We'll start off with the one-way ANOVA. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and check the notification bell.